Check the mic, 1, 2. This ain't a whisper, this a roar coming through. They try to bury us, but the seed just grew. Now the concrete cracks and the truth breaks through. They told you it was over, said you never survive. But the dead man walking is fully alive. No one is coming to save you, so sharpen the knife. Turn up the podcast, welcome to the brilliant life. Don't let them tell you your story's been spun. Your chapter's not closed, your battle's not done. Every scar's a lesson, every fall a rise. Look them in the eye, see the fire in your eyes. This is the anthem, the beat of the brave. From the ashes we rise, from the darkness we save. No more silence, no more fear, no more lies. Welcome to the brilliant life where the spirit never dies. Where the spirit never dies.
Hi, I'm Mike Moulton, and this is the Brilliant Life podcast. And I want to welcome you here. And I want to describe to you at this point why I'm redoing or reintroducing the Brilliant Life podcast. And I want you to understand the concept of what I'm getting at, okay? The brilliant life in the scripture, Jesus is talked about as the light that enlightens every human being that comes into the world. Jesus talked about himself as the light of the world. And Jesus is also given to us or conveyed to us his light. And Paul has a concept that he wrote about in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. He says, for God, who said, "Let light shine out of darkness," made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Jesus Christ. It is that physical light. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, being forced into the vessel, the earthen vessels that we as humans are, and then being pushed out into the world so that our light impacts the light of another. Or if someone else has a light that might be snuffed out, can receive light from us. We can become a light giver. And so the brilliant life, the concept that I'm trying to give out and trying to have emanate from me to you is this concept that God is light, and in him there is no darkness. And even though we get to the brink of utter darkness and brokenness, in God we have light. In God we have life. In God we go from brokenness to completion. And it is the concept that the brilliant life incorporates the broken life. And so I'm thankful that you're here with me today. I'm thankful that you're looking to join me today. And I'm hoping that we can go on this journey together. And where I want to start with you today is the place of my utter brokenness. It was that morning when I woke up and I had a new stent put in. That was ultimately the price that I paid for coping. I tried to do everything the nice guy way. I went to therapy. I talked about my feelings. I waited for an apology that was never going to come. And at age 46, my body sent me the bill. I had a heart attack that nearly ended my life. My name is Mike Moulton. And a few years ago, I hit the trifecta of chaos, betrayal, job loss, and a health crisis that nearly destroyed me. I remember lying in that hospital bed. I never lost consciousness, but I felt the pain of a heart attack. I felt my mortality. I dealt with my mortality. And it was there in that hospital room that I realized a significant truth. The anger that I had been holding on to, it didn't hurt anyone else. It was trapped inside of me. It choked, literally choked my blood supply, calcifying my arteries. But it was in the silence of that room, in my recovery, that the anger began to melt away. And I realized that if I was going to live, I had to reconstruct my life completely. I had to build my life on a foundation that was not filled with anger and bitterness, that was without blaming others. I had to use the tools that God gave me, the wisdom of His Word, the principles of emotional health, and the discipline of extreme ownership. It wasn't anyone else's fault that I was lying there half dead or given a second chance. Look, I'm not a guru. I'm a simple guy. I'm a corporate recruiter, actually. I'm in business world, but I've been through hell and back. However, over the last decade, I've assessed human potential for some of the biggest companies. My job has been to look at a resume, identify skills, see if they compare and work with the role that I'm hiring for, and then to pivot people into those roles. And I've used those negotiation skills, the assessment, the strategy, and I applied it to the wreckage of my own life. And I stopped trying to fix my marriage. I stopped trying to fix the old me. And I started changing from the inside out, building this new man with the tools that God gave me. You might be asking yourself, Mike, what in the world does being a recruiter have to do with my divorce, my depression, my rock bottom? It has everything to do with it. When you look at a candidate for a high-level job, I don't look at their failures. I look at their transferable skills. And most of you right now are staring at the job you lost. You're staring at the title of husband that was taken away. You're staring at the title of father, that role. It feels diminished because now you're only seeing your children 50% of the time. You're looking at the firing. I'm here to tell you, look at the resume. In the corporate world, when a division gets shut down, we don't just fire the talent. Sometimes we do. However, we look for where they fit in the new organization. And you have skills. You have endurance. You have had the ability to suffer long. You have leadership traits that have been dormant because you've been in survival mode. I've been there. What we call it is the fog of war. And you're looking at the rubble, and you can't see those skills. You think you're worthless because one person, your ex, your boss, stopped valuing you. My job and the job of this podcast is to help you audit your life. And we're going to look at the life resume. We're going to strip away the emotional noise. We're going to see what assets you have. And we're going to deploy those for a better future. Look, truly, you can't build if you're terrified of the rubble that you see around you. Oftentimes in our lives, we're told that destruction is the end. We're discouraged from becoming more because we think we've lost too much. But I want to offer you a different perspective. When you look at destruction in the Bible, it's rarely an ending. It's almost always a site prep for God's rebuilding. I want to repeat that. It's often the site of God's rebuilding. Think about the cross. When you see the destruction of the Son of God, Jesus Christ, mutilated on the cross, from a human perspective, we think total loss. That is a failed mission. Listen, the disciples scattered. They thought, it's over. We lost. We're done. He's dead. They saw a corpse. But that wasn't God's view. God didn't see the destruction. He saw the setup for the resurrection. He saw the better, the best, the glorified Son of God. God operates in the business of resurrection. But you can't have resurrection without death first. Something in your life had to die. Could it be it was the toxic marriage? Maybe it was a career that was draining your soul. Maybe it's just your own ego. So that the new thing could be born. God does not see your current situation as a pile of trash. He sees it as a construction site. He sees your resurrection. The question for you is, do you trust the architect enough to pick up the shovel with you and start working as a co-creator for your best life? He is working with you working with him hand in hand. And this brings me to one of the core tenets of the Brilliant Life podcast, but also the Brilliant Life Collective. We don't talk about bouncing back. Bouncing back implies you return to who you were before. I don't want you to be who you were before. And God doesn't either. Who I was before had a heart attack at 46. Who I was before tolerated disrespect. I want to be someone new, and I want you to be someone new. I want to bring you along to that newness. I want you to walk that trail with me. We're going to go over a concept called kintsugi. It's the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. They don't hide the cracks, they highlight them. They realize that the piece is more beautiful and more valuable because it has a history, because it survived the break. We're going to fill those cracks, our cracks, with gold, with wisdom, scripture, literacy of emotional intelligence, physical strength, financial literacy, all those things that you need to fill with gold. So whether you're dealing with a divorce, a career pivot, a loss of purpose, or just a heavy feeling in your chest, I want you to know we're not victims. We're builders standing in the rubble. And that rubble is our raw material. I'm here to help you build the blueprint for your best life, and here to help you audit things, take extreme ownership of your future, construct a life that honors the man that God created you to be. Now, it's a challenge. If you're done coping, if you're done waiting for an apology, if you're done being the nice guy who, finishes last, and you're ready to start building, I say welcome to the Brilliant Life podcast. Let's get to work.
They built their walls high, thought they had us contained, but the spirit inside us, it can't be restrained. We break every chain, shatter every mold, a new generation. Stories untold, feel the rhythm in your chest, let it fuel your might. Ignite the revolution with